You've already read the last 3 people you looked at. You judged their intelligence, their trustworthiness, and whether you'd want them near your kids. And you did it in under 10 seconds, without permission and without even noticing. Your brain is a mind-reading machine that's been running in the background your entire life. The problem isn't that you can't read people. The problem is that nobody ever showed you the manual. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna hand you that manual. You're gonna learn the 3-second window scientists use to predict things about total strangers with unsettling accuracy. You'll learn the exact verbal trick psychics use to convince you they can see into your soul, and how to run it in reverse. And you'll learn the single facial and vocal tell that predicts with over 90% accuracy whether 2 people secretly can't stand each other. But I have to warn you now, the last technique I show you is the same one con artists and cult recruiters use to hook complete strangers in a single conversation. Once you see it, you can never unsee it. And honestly, you shouldn't want to. None of this is a party trick or pop psychology fluff. Every method in this video comes from peer-reviewed research, a Harvard meta-analysis, a study of thousands of couples in a lab wired to their heart rates, and a classroom experiment from 1949 that magicians still quietly rely on today. So let's start with the thing your brain is already doing right now, whether you like it or not. How much do you actually need to see of a person before you know who they are? A full conversation? A first date? An hour? Try 2 seconds. In the early 90s, 2 psychologists at Harvard, Nalini Ambady and Robert Rosenthal, showed people silent 10-second video clips of college teachers they had never met. No sound, no context, just body language. Then they cut those clips down to 5 seconds, then to 2. Then they asked strangers to rate how good each teacher was. Here's the part that should make the hair on your arm stand. Those ratings from 2 and 10-second silent clips lined up almost perfectly with the evaluations from students who had sat through an entire semester with that teacher. Strangers watching a 2-second muted clip predicted the verdict of people who spent months in the room. They named this the thin slice effect, the finding that we form startlingly accurate judgments from tiny snippets of behavior under 5 minutes long, often unintentionally. Here's your first tool, and you can use it tonight. Your gut first impression is not just a feeling. It's a high-speed data read your brain already ran. So the next time you meet someone and something feels off in the first few seconds, do not override it with "give them a chance." Instead, get specific. Ask yourself, what exactly did I just see? Did their smile arrive a half-second late? Did their warmth switch on only when they wanted something? Naming the signal turns a vague vibe into usable information and stops you talking yourself out of a warning your brain already handed you. But if we're all this good at reading people, how do professional psychics convince a total stranger that they can read minds? Because that's not intuition, that's a formula. And once you know it, it stops being magic. Imagine a stranger looks you dead in the eye and says, "You have a great need for other people to admire you. You're independent-minded and you don't accept opinions without proof. But underneath, you've got a part of yourself you keep hidden from almost everyone." Feels accurate, right? A little too accurate? In 1949, a psychologist named Bertram Forer gave every student in his class a personality test, then handed each of them a unique, personalized profile supposedly built from their answers. He asked them to rate how accurate it was, 0 to 5. On average, they rated their deeply personal analysis a 4.26 out of 5. Then, Forer revealed the twist. Every single student had received the exact same profile, word for word. This experiment has been repeated for decades, and it keeps landing in that same eerily high range. We call it the Barnum Effect, and here's the engine under the hood. People rate a description as more accurate when they think it was built just for them, when it's mostly flattering, and, crucially, when it comes from someone who seems like an authority. Your brain hears a vague statement and quietly fills the blanks with your own specific memories. You do the mind reading. The psychic just holds the door open.
Flip this around, and it becomes the most powerful rapport tool you own. You don't manipulate people with it. You use it to make them feel seen. Instead of a canned, "How are you?" try something with a little Barnum shape to it. You seem like someone who's the reliable one in your group, but I bet people underestimate how much you're actually carrying. Watch what happens. Most people will lean in because you've handed them a mirror and they filled it with themselves. You didn't read their mind. You gave their mind room to speak. So now you can read a stranger in seconds, and you can make anyone feel understood. But the hardest thing to read isn't a person. It's the invisible tension between two people. And there's one signal that gives it away every time. Put two people in front of you having a normal conversation. Can you tell if their relationship is quietly dying? A researcher figured out you can, and he can do it from about 15 minutes of watching. John Gottman spent decades bringing thousands of couples into a lab, wiring them up to monitors that track their heart rate and stress, and simply watching them argue. Then he followed them for years to see who stayed together and who split. From a 15-minute conflict conversation, the presence of 4 specific behaviors predicted divorce with over 90% accuracy across a 6-year window. He called them the Four Horsemen: criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. But one of the 4 towered over the rest: contempt. Eye-rolling, sarcasm, mockery, that little sneer of "I'm better than you," was the single strongest predictor of the relationship ending. It's so corrosive that Gottman describes it as the acid that dissolves a bond from the inside. Here's your tool, and it works far beyond marriages. In any room, a meeting, a family dinner, a first date, a negotiation, stop listening only to words and start hunting for micro-contempt. The half-second eye roll, the tiny scoff, the smile that curls slightly on one side while someone else is talking. People can fake polite words all day, but contempt leaks out in a flicker they can't fully control. When you catch it, you've just read the real relationship underneath the fake one. The alliance that isn't really an alliance. The "we're fine" that isn't fine. And that flicker, that involuntary leak of what someone actually feels, is the doorway into the most powerful and most dangerous part of this entire video. Now, I have to break the fun for a second, because everything I just handed you has an evil twin. Go back to that Barnum Effect, the psychic formula. Remember the 3 things that supercharge it? People believe a personal-sounding description more when it's flattering, when it feels made just for them, and when it comes from an authority. Read that sentence again, because you just described the recruitment script of nearly every cult, con artist, and predatory guru on Earth. This is the machine. Step 1, the flattering, tailored read. I can tell you're different from the people around you. You've always felt like you were meant for something bigger, haven't you? That's not insight. That's a Barnum statement, engineered to make you supply your own evidence. Step 2, they position themselves as the authority who finally sees the real you, the one person who understands what everyone else missed. Step 3, and this is the trap closing. They use that manufactured feeling of being deeply understood to pull you closer and everyone else away. Your family doesn't get you like I do. The reason this spikes right here, 7 minutes in, is that it reframes the whole video. The exact tools that make you a warmer, sharper reader of people are the tools that get weaponized against the lonely and the trusting. The difference between charisma and manipulation was never the technique, it's the intent. A good person uses "I see you" to open a door. A predator uses it to lock one. So here's the counter move, the shield. The instant a new person makes you feel uniquely, dramatically understood way too fast before they could possibly have earned it, that is not chemistry. That is a Barnum read, and it should trigger caution, not comfort. Real understanding is slow and specific. Manufactured understanding is fast and flattering. Learn the difference, and you become almost impossible to run this play on. If you forget everything else in this video, keep this one habit and start it with your very next conversation. Watch the gap between the words and the face. That's the whole skill, distilled. Words are the message a person chooses to send. The micro-expressions, the timing of a smile, the flicker of contempt, the too fast flattery, that's the message their body sends whether they want to or not.
Reading minds isn't magic, and it isn't a gift. It's just refusing to only listen to the words. Do that on purpose in one conversation today, and you'll be doing it automatically by next week.
Now, you can read people, and you can spot when someone's running the Barnum play on you. But there's a whole second layer to this, the specific way manipulators build trust, isolate you, and steer your decisions without you ever noticing a single command. If reading minds is the offense, this is the armor. I broke down the complete psychology of dark persuasion and exactly how to defend against it in this video right here. Watch it next before someone uses it on you.